my elbow, but he done something, and then when he went to stand on it, so I think he buckled his foot. Obviously I was already ahead, but I knew we needed that round, and I seen him buckling, he's struggling to pull weight.
The real reason why Diego Lopes lost to Volkanovski has finally been revealed. The guy broke both of his feet. Yo, this fight wasn't a 50-45 win for Volkanovski. I thought Volkanovski won the fight. I'm not saying robbery or anything like that, but it was a lot closer than 50-45. Lopes arguably won 2 rounds. Now, I can't remember if it was round 2 or 3 that Diego Lopes dropped Volkanovski, but by using the same logic that people used in Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje, because Diego Lopes dropped Volk, that should be a Lopes round. Because Paddy Pimblett, similar to Justin Gaethje, was winning the round, then got dropped by Justin Gaethje, and everybody gave Gaethje the round. So surely by that logic, Diego Lopes wins that round. I'm not saying robbery. Volkanovski was the rightful winner. He won this fight. I'm glad he won this fight after that walkout at UFC 325. That was epic. I come from a land down under. But this was definitely not a 50-45 win for Volkanovski. Ain't no way, boy.
Stop everything you are doing right now. Put your food down, close every other app on your phone, and if you have a weak stomach or if you get squeamish at the sight of medical gore, I am genuinely warning you to look away from your screen this instant, because what we are about to discuss is not just a sports injury, it is a scene straight out of a horror movie that just happened inside the octagon at UFC. We all just finished watching what might go down as the single greatest, most violent, and most chaotic featherweight war in the history of the company. Between the rising superstar Diego Lopes and the greatest featherweight of all time, Alexander Volkanovski. And while we were all screaming at our televisions, celebrating the heart and the chin and the scrambles, we had absolutely no idea that we were witnessing a medical anomaly that defies the laws of human biology. Breaking news has just been confirmed. The X-rays have just been released to the public, and they paint a picture of catastrophic physical damage that is honestly hard to comprehend. Diego Lopes did not just leave the cage sore. He did not just leave with a limp. Diego Lopes fought the last 2 rounds of a 15-minute war against the pound-for-pound king with both of his feet broken. You heard me correctly. We are not talking about a sprain. We are not talking about a bone bruise. We are talking about bilateral fracture, meaning the bones in his left foot and the bones in his right foot were snapped in half, and this maniac, this absolute cyborg of a human being, continued to bounce, continued to cut angles, and continued to throw flying knees as if his skeletal structure wasn't completely compromised.
Or my elbow, but he done something, and then when he went to stand on it, so I think he buckled his foot. Obviously I was already ahead, but I knew we needed that round, and I seen him buckling, he's struggling to pull weight. Could maybe do more here, but then I'm like, I think it was his front leg, his lead leg. So I was like, he can still sit, I'm pretty calculated, so I was like, he can still carry his weight on that back foot if he really wants to sit some big shots. So I was like, I won't get too carried away. I was thinking, can I capitalize on that? I'm like, I could by doing what I'm doing. Maybe a takedown. I thought, takedown probably a bit easier now, rather than being like, I'm going to just go for it, because he only needs the back leg for that. So I didn't get too careless.
To truly understand the gravity of this situation, we have to go back and look at the fight with the knowledge we have now, because it changes everything about how we view Diego Lopes' performance. Think back to the second round. Do you remember that moment when Diego stepped back near the fence and his legs seemed to give out? The commentary team, Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier, they thought he slipped on the Metro PCS logo. They thought he lost his footing on the canvas because of the sweat. We all thought it was a slip, but looking back at the replay now, you can see the exact moment the bone in his right foot betrayed him. He didn't slip, his structural integrity collapsed. He stepped down to plant for a counterhook, and the metatarsals in his foot just said no more. And what did he do? Did he look at the ref? Did he wave it off? Did he turtle up? No. He bit down on his mouthpiece. He reset his stance, and he launched himself back into the fire against a man who is known for chopping people's legs off. That is not toughness. That is a level of adrenaline and dog mentality that borders on psychosis.
And with that, the UFC Featherweight Championship is now vacant. Volkanovski is in the... Volk goes to the inside leg kick now, changes the level and goes high. As particularly measured here across.
The X-ray images that Diego posted on his Instagram story just minutes ago are frankly disgusting. He captioned them with a simple phrase, "the price of gold," but the cost was much higher than that. In the image of the right foot, you can clearly see the break in the metatarsals, likely caused by checking one of Volkanovski's legendary low kicks. We know that kicking Volkanovski is like kicking a fire hydrant. His bone density is legendary. Max Holloway talked about it. Ilya Topuria talked about it. When you kick Volk, you hurt yourself more than you hurt him. And Diego Lopes found that out the hard way. But the left foot is the one that has doctors on Twitter absolutely baffled. The left foot looks like he dropped a cinder block on it. The fracture is complex, it's messy, and it suggests that at some point, maybe during a scramble or maybe landing from one of those aerial attacks, the foot just crumpled under his weight.
It's, again, at this age, 37 years old, just a win, right, is an awesome feeling. And then to do it here in Sydney, not only that, to defend your belt at 37 here in Sydney in front of your family.
Medical experts are already weighing in, saying that the pain of a bilateral foot fracture is excruciating. Every step sends a shockwave up the tibia and into the nervous system. Essentially, Diego Lopes was fighting on 2 bags of crushed rocks for at least 7 to 8 minutes. Imagine the adrenaline dump required to mask that kind of agony. We always talk about fight or flight, but in the cage, there is no flight, there is only fight. And Diego's brain must have flooded his system with so many natural painkillers that he was operating on pure instinct. But now that the adrenaline has worn off, now that he is sitting in the hospital in Vegas, the pain must be unbearable. He is going to be in a wheelchair for weeks. He won't be able to walk to the bathroom, let alone train, for months.
You know what I mean? I'm a guy that never shies away from a challenge. You know what I mean? There's no real secret to success. I'm the guy that will do what everyone doesn't.
This injury also completely changes the narrative of the fight itself. In the 3rd round, we saw Diego slow down a little bit. We saw him sitting back more, waiting for Volk to come to him. Critics were saying, oh, his cardio is fading, or the moment is too big for him. We owe him a massive apology. His cardio wasn't fading, his landing gear was broken. He literally couldn't push off to generate power. He couldn't explode into his takedowns because every time he dug his toes into the canvas, his bones were grinding together. The fact that he was still competitive, the fact that he was still landing shots and making Volkanovski respect him while standing on shattered glass makes this one of the most heroic losing efforts or winning efforts, depending on how you scored it, in the history of the sport. It reminds us of Thiago Santos fighting John Jones with blown-out knees, or Robert Whittaker fighting Yoel Romero with a broken hand. But this might top them all because you need your feet for everything. You need them to move, to punch, to defend. Diego Lopes was essentially fighting the greatest featherweight of all time as a torso, and he still made it a war.
So he's getting through adversities easy, all that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? There's going to be chaos. A lot of people can't handle chaos. I put myself through chaos every camp, you know what I mean? I'm used to this, you know what I mean? I make that the norm. And then, you know what I mean? So whenever there's challenges...
However, we have to talk about the dark side of this news. The glory of fighting through injury is great for the fans, but the consequences for Diego Lopes' career are terrifying. We are looking at extensive surgery. He is going to need plates, he is going to need screws, and he is going to need a long, grueling rehabilitation process. Foot injuries are notorious in MMA. They kill agility, they ruin footwork. Look at what happened to Tony Ferguson after his knee, or Santos after his legs. When you rely on movement, and Diego Lopes relies heavily on his explosive movement and chaotic scrambling ability, breaking both feet is a career-altering event. He is going to be on the shelf for a minimum of 6 to 9 months, realistically, a year before he looks like himself again. This kills his momentum. He was on a rocket ship to the title. He was the next big thing, and now the train has come to a screeching, violent halt. Dana White was asked about this backstage just moments ago, and even the boss, who has seen everything in this sport for 30 years, looked pale. He told reporters, "I walked into the medical tent and I saw his feet. They were swollen like balloons." They were purple and black. I have never seen a human being tolerate that kind of pain. The kid is a savage, but he's going to be out for a while. When Dana White says you are a savage, that means you earned your check. But it also confirms that the UFC knows they just lost one of their brightest stars to the injury bug for the foreseeable future. We also have to give credit to Alexander Volkanovski. This revelation adds another layer to his legend. He is the dream killer. He is the body breaker. It wasn't a submission that broke Diego. It wasn't a knockout. It was the sheer physical density and hardness of Volkanovski's body. Volkan fights in a way that forces you to break yourself against him. He checks kicks perfectly. He manages distance, so you land on his elbows and knees. He is a brick wall that hits back. For Diego to sustain this much damage, it shows just how violent the impact of this fight truly was. It wasn't a technical chess match. It was a car crash that lasted 15 minutes. The reaction from the fighter community has been instant and overwhelming. Conor McGregor just tweeted out, "Respect. That is a true fighter." Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, all the guys who are known for being absolute warriors, are tipping their caps to Diego Lopes tonight. They know what it feels like to have a broken bone in the cage. They know the panic that sets in when your body stops listening to you. And for Diego to suppress that panic and keep swinging until the final bell is the ultimate badge of honor. But now, the long road to recovery begins. Diego posted another photo from the hospital bed, giving a thumbs up, smiling, with both legs wrapped in massive casts up to his knees. He looks like a mummy. He looks like he just fell off a building. And in a way, he did. He fell off the mountain of a title fight and hit the bottom hard. We have to wonder, will he be the same? Can you reconstruct a foot that has been shattered in multiple places and expect it to have the same spring, the same explosion? We hope so. We pray so, because Diego Lopes is exactly what this sport needs. Fearless, exciting, and apparently indestructible in spirit, even if his bones are breakable. So, where do we go from here? The featherweight division moves on. Volkanovski moves on to the next challenger, but we cannot forget what happened tonight. We cannot forget the sacrifice. Diego Lopes gave pieces of himself, literally pieces of his skeleton, for our entertainment tonight. He paid the price of gold, but he left without the belt. That is the cruelest part of this sport. You can do everything right. You can be tougher than hell. You can break your body in half, and you still might lose on the scorecards. I need to know what you guys think about this. When you see those x-rays, when you see the bones separated, does it make you respect Diego Lopes more, or does it make you think his corner should have thrown in the towel? If they knew, and we don't know if they knew, but if they suspected his feet were broken, should they have stopped it to save his career? Or is this just what fighters do? Is this the code of the samurai? And do you think he can come back from this and be the same fighter? Or did Alexander Volkanovski just take the best years of Diego Lopes' prime? Let me know in the comments below. We are going to be tracking his surgery updates, we will be tracking his rehab, and we will be here when he finally learns to walk again. Send your prayers up for Diego. He is a warrior in every sense of the word. Like and subscribe for more updates, because the aftermath of UFC 3